So first you have the church in Ephesus. Christ told them they'd abandoned their first love. So he hit them pretty hard there, didn't he? They needed to repent, or Christ would come to them and remove their lampstand. Well, the removal of their lampstand would mean they would cease to be God's church's people. You're a light of God's truth in the world. If you fall away and you no longer follow Christ, you're no longer a light. So that's the symbolic point he's making. Then you have the church in Smyrna. There was no critique, but they were warned that a time of testing and tribulation was coming for them. The devil would throw some of them into prison, and they would suffer for 10 days. They're being warned of some problems, aren't they? The number 10 is often used to refer to a period of trial or testing. Daniel was tested for 10 days, so that's one of those symbolic numbers. They were encouraged to be faithful unto death. So they're being told you're going to have some trials. They're not just little trials either. You know, that you have to die, be faithful. Church in Pergamum. They had undergone trials, and one of them had been killed. So some serious things have been happening here. Some were following false teaching and were eating food sacrificed to idols and engaging in sexual immorality. They should repent, or Christ would come to judge them. Then we have the church in Thyatira. They were tolerating a false prophetess and were engaging in immorality and eating food sacrificed to idols. They were warned to repent, or Christ would throw her and the unfaithful Christians into great tribulation. Church in Sardis. They were spiritually dead and had incomplete works. Some had soiled their garments by walking unworthily. We'll see as we go along, the righteous saints are always talked about as wearing robes of white linen, which represents their righteousness as they follow Christ. So to have soiled garments is, you're not exactly walking in the light. You're getting off track here. They're walking unworthily. He warned them to wake up, or he would come like a thief to them. Church in Philadelphia. There were no rebukes for the church. That's impressive. They were told they would be spared from the hour of trial that was coming on the whole world. And we realized the way that phrase is normally used and was even used in the Old Testament, it meant their whole world, their whole empire. In this case would be the whole Roman Empire. Christ stated he was coming soon. Laodicea. They were spiritually lukewarm and materialistic. They needed to obtain white garments of righteousness. Christ said he was standing at the door knocking. He would come in fellowship with them if they would let him in. It does make you wonder. Christ started writing letters to individual churches today, our church. What would be said? What's going to be the good? What's going to be the rebuke? Well, hello and greetings to WFR live stream.